Hello friends, welcome to the second lesson on units of capacity in US customary system. Yesterday you learned about King Gallon and people or units in his kingdom. Before I go over today's lesson, I'm going to review what we learned since Monday. On Monday and Tuesdays we learned about units of length. You learned about yard being equal to 3 feet and each foot being equal to 12 inches. Therefore, each yard equals to 12 plus 12 plus 12 inches, or 3 times 12 inches, which is equal to 36 inches. In math, we use different visual models to help us understand the concept of lesson. I use tape diagrams so you see the relationship between these units. Yesterday you learned about units of capacity or volume. Volume or capacity is the space that something takes. You learned about King Gallon. This G represents 1 gallon. Then Q's are quarts, P's are pints, and C's are cups. We can draw a tape diagram for King Gallon and all of these units. 1 gallon, which is this G, and the largest unit in this lesson, equals to 4 quarts, which are these Q's. Each quart has 2 pints in it, right? So each quart has 2 pints. Each pint has 2 cups. If I have this model in front of me, or this model, it's easier to answer any word problem. I noticed on your exit tickets some of you had trouble doing that. It's really easy to draw this model. Let's do it together. The first thing you do is drawing a G, which is your gallon. Then you draw 4 Q's in it, which are your quarts. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, you have 2 on each new letter that you draw. So in each Q, you draw 2 P's, which are your pints. And in each P, you draw 2 C's, which are your cups. I encourage you to draw this model before you get to the word problems for exit tickets, because then you just look at it and answer. So if somebody asks you how many cups you have in 1 gallon, you can just count instead of guessing. Some of you guessed. So you can just count. If this is my 1 gallon, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 cups. Someone asks you how many pints do you have in a gallon, just count. This is 2, 4, 6, 8 pints, and so on. Yesterday you also talked about a conversion table, converting gallon to quarts. The rule for converting gallon to quarts is 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. And then you talked about using hashtags. We'll skip counting by 4 because 1 gallon is 4 quarts, 2 gallon is 8, 3 gallon is 12, and we are multiplying. So I'm multiplying 1 by 4, which gives me 4, 4 by 2, which is giving me 8, and so on, right? Then you learned about converting gallon to pints. The rule for converting gallons to pints is 1 gallon equals to 8 pints. So the hashtag is going to be for your 8, right? Hashtags are really helpful for solving problems with units and many other types of problems. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about converting quarts to pints, which the rule for it is 1 quart equals 2 pints. So you just keep counting by 2, which everybody's great at it, right? 2 4. So 1 quart is 2 pints, 2 quarts is 4 pints. You're multiplying each quarts that you have in this column by 2, because you have 2 pints in each quart. Then we're going to, and this is one example for it, 12 quarts times 2 equals 24 pints, because that's the rule for it, multiplying by 2. Then we're going to go over conversion table for pints to cups. The rule is the same. 1 pint has 2 cups, so you multiply by 2 again, so you can use the same hashtag for it. The example for it can be 13 pints times 2 equals to 36 cups. I had an extra dot here. That's okay. So basically we covered whatever is in on today's lesson. Capacity and basic conversion table. Again, I encourage you to draw this model before you get to your exit tickets, then you don't have to memorize anything. This is the conversion table we just talked about. It says the rule is 1 quart equals to 2 pints. If you have this model in front of you, you don't have to memorize the rule. Each quart has 2 pints in it. That's why this is the rule for it. And then converting pints to cups, each pint has 2 cups, so that's the rule, multiplying by 2. Let's see, here we go, this one. That was today's lesson. I hope you practice and get more comfortable with the units of capacity and US customary system in general. Have a wonderful day and happy learning.